Kathmandu Valley is surrounded by green, beautiful hills, mountains, and snow-capped Himalayas. History of Swayambhu Purana says Kathmandu Valley was once a lake. Manjushri saw a lotus flower in the middle of the lake, decided to cut the gorge at Chobar to allow the lake to drain, and the place where lotus flowers settled is the site of Swayambhu's stupa. The valley then became habitable. Kathmandu is a city where unique traditional art forms are created from the time immemorial. These traditional art forms are full of divine energy and knowledge. This is the place where divinity are still worshipped and treated as a living soul. Each day begins with the melodious ringing of bells and sacred chanting at every temples, monasteries and houses. The sound of their tune could be heard while strolling around the alley of the city. These craftsmen are not only making their crafts but are materializing the divinity so that anyone would be able to witness and feel the divine energy. One of the crafts that is pure representation of divinity, a discipline in art which has been running from centuries, and an art form which has become source of inspiration for traditional art that spread Nepal and beyond. Paubha have been practiced from the time immemorial. The word Paubha is derived from the Sanskrit word Patravattaraka. This means depiction of gods and goddesses in a flat form. This is a very old traditional art form which was practiced from the historical times. Process of making Paubha is a ritual on itself. A cloth is to be woven by a pure virgin and its presentation is accompanied by an elaborate ritual. Canvas has to be prepared by a painter which will take about a week. Painter begins his work on an auspicious day with a meditation. He has been prepared for months for this day. Painter will remain on a strict discipline. He will fast and eat only vegetarian food, remain holy and observe brahmacharya. He has to be devoted to his craft and skills and contemplated to the spiritual space. In his meditation, his mind is directed towards a divine energy, the energy that will direct him to create the divinity in an art form. All the colors of Paubha paintings were prepared from minerals and plant materials. These minerals are broken down and are made into fine powder. The process requires a lot of manual work while grinding in mortar and pestle. Traditional Paubha is painted with 5 basic colors: red, blue, yellow, black and white. The color of each deity needs to be according to the principle of Holy Shastra. Paubha painting process begins with an elaborate ritual ceremony known as Hasta Puja, where the Brahmachari priest and the artist worship for divine energy to transform into colors and sketches of an artist. In Paubha painting, the artist must have a sound knowledge of iconographic and iconometric principles. The painter has to follow the holy scripture enchanted by Brahmacharya priest. The scripture or dhyan is written by the Siddha yogis, the one who have achieved enlightenment and have experienced the God in its true form. After the initial coat of color is applied, the painter then gives fine lining to give a perfect shape to a deity.
चक्रत्रयादपरे वर्धितं विश्वमाता विद्युत्प्रभाहृदये वर्धितं ज्ञानगया तुभ्यं नमस्ते मनसा पुरुषा गिरा के मनोज्ञासमन्त्रः भवनोज्ञासमनं देवी
Then he starts shading and gradation. This process may take 10 to 20 years to finish one painting. Painters also apply gold and silver to the paintings as an act of contemplation of the deity. It has been learned from the earlier times. The painter used to sketch the drawing by measurement of angur. The eyes of the deity are opened in the end, which signifies that the painting is now complete. It has been suggested that Paubha should not be unrolled in the presence of strangers. It has to be worshipped by the initiated owners only.